Hey guys, what is going on? It's Dardan here, and welcome to a new beta video. So they came out with the beta a couple of weeks ago, but I haven't really made a video about it because they didn't really add that much stuff in it. But yesterday they got an update to it and they added a few more stuff. So I thought I'll cover all of that beta update just in one video. So first up is being able to swap between legacy interface and EoC combat. You can do this by simply going to the escape game settings and then enable legacy interface or legacy combat. So if you want to use EoC for Slayer, for example, while having the old school interface, you can do that now. It's a pretty amazing update, and also you can do it vice versa for having a EoC interface with a legacy combat. Myself, however, I do prefer still using EoC combat and the EoC interface, because I did try it out the Rexor with EoC combat and legacy interface, and I did not like it because I really need my ability books. I need my HP bar, like saying how much HP it has left, especially with Rexor. So I still really prefer the EoC interface just because it gives you more stuff to show on your screen, what you really need as well. But for stuff like small stuff like Slayer, you could probably do a legacy interface and EoC combat. That's actually pretty good. And for those who love legacy combat but want more out of it, they can switch to EoC interface with the legacy combat system. So pretty much best of both worlds. A really good update. Cannot wait for this to see come in live game. I don't really see any major bugs with it as well, so that seems pretty good. But yeah, as you can see, I just switched between the styles. Now I'm using EoC interface with the legacy combat, and it works pretty good. Alright, so the next update is not really a huge one, actually it's a really small one. I don't even know why they put this in the beta, but it's being able to swap bank tabs. So for those who really want to have their bank tabs swapped, but they don't want to put an effort into swapping all of the items out there, you can do that now in the beta, which I think will hit the live game really soon, because I don't see any bugs with it, so I don't know why they put this in beta. But yes, it's really simple, and yep, that's actually all of it. Alright, so this update is actually a pretty big one and a really useful one as well. It's being able to loot all of your drops on the ground by just one click. And able to have this enabled, you gotta go to loot options and be sure to have the use inventory loot enabled. And then if you want to use the area loot as well, be sure to enable that. And then pretty much you can start filtering stuff from there. So you can loot stuff that has at least a value of 1k or 100k maximum. So if you don't want to loot shit that's worth less than 5k, you can enable that filter. And pretty much other than that, you have got a lot of different filters. So on loot, armor, consumables, runs, and stuff like that. So this is a pretty good update, and it works really good as well. I'll show you in a second. And pretty much you can put all the filters on whatever you like. It doesn't loot the charms from Slayer though, because you gotta have the charming imp for that. Otherwise it would devalue that. But yeah, let's start dropping some loot. The area loot is in a 3x3 radius. So 3x3 squares, everything but in those squares you can loot from a distance. So if you're doing Slayer, this is a really good one actually. So you just gotta left click the first pile. Don't right click it, left click the first pile. And then you can drag the interface as well if you like. I'll put it like on the right side of my interface. And you have the custom loot, which is the filter loot. So if you only want to loot stuff that's below or above 5k, you can do that. Or you can take all. As you can see, it took all of the rocktails surrounding that 3x3 square. So that's pretty cool. It makes Slayer probably really good, because I never used to loot Slayer stuff because it's just too much effort to pick up everything. For automatons, it's really good because you kill them quite quickly and they drop pretty decent loot. So for stuff like that, it's going to be pretty amazing. I never picked up loot just because of the effort. But this probably, I'll start picking up the loot. And yeah, pretty good update. I love it. And I can't wait to see this in live game as well. Alright, so next up we have a lot of small combat changes. Not all too big. But we got some buffs to the two-hander abilities. The Quake now deals 290% damage to the main target and also lowering the defense. I don't know why it doesn't say that they don't lower defense, because they did it as well. But I don't really seem to notice it. So Quake could still definitely use a buff. This is for the 200 melee, by the way. Hurricane will now hit twice on the main target, dealing up to 290% on first strike and 176 on the second one. So before this update, it used to be really OP. Hurricane on the beta, I used it pretty much twice, 290%. so you could do like twice 8k. So that's pretty much like Snapshot, except it used to be even more overpowered. Now it's probably on the same level as Snapshot or close to it, and it also is still an AoE. So Hurricane is actually a really good ability right now. Then we have some Meteor stuff changes, and all the other small changes, not all too big. But what I noticed so far is, even though the two-hander buff was improved, it's not really that big still to be using a Noxia Scythe, sadly, over a Dragon Mace or Dragon Weapons, I mean. So I really hope they still buff it a bit more, especially Quake. I don't really see Quake being good one at all. Compared to Destroy with dual wielding, Destroy is way better. But Hurricane definitely got it improved, and it's really good now. So yeah, this is all pretty much the most worthy of mentioning. You can read the rest on the screen right now. Alright, so the final update for the beta was gonna change the game pretty much completely in their design document. So I'm talking about the Death Rework, which I made a video a couple weeks back when the Mod Hunter posted his design document or his dev blog on the forums. And since then they've changed it quite a bit, because the way he had it first, by the way, if you want to listen to the video, I'll link in the description. The way he was going to change it first is that if you were to die in RuneScape, then you had to pay for your stuff back for like 10%, 1 up to 10% per item value, which meant that you were gonna lose a lot of money if you were to keep dying a lot of times. However, with the beta update, they have changed it drastically, and pretty much they made it a lot better for those who die often. And so if you were to die now, you'll have a gravestone. I think the gravestone matters as well now. My gravestone is the dwarven one, the highest one. If you were to die now, you have a 2 minutes and 30 seconds gravestone with the highest one to get back to your stuff and loot it like normally. However, if you do not make it back within those 2.5 minutes, your gravestone will be gone. Your items will go to death. And when you, well, also when you spawn, when you die, you'll spawn at death, his office first. You can choose there to reclaim or run back to your grave if you have enough time left. However, if you use the sign of respite, I don't know how to pronounce that. You can upgrade your grave up to like 4 minutes, I believe is maximum. So be sure to have those in your bank. These are going to be really useful now. I never used these because I was had enough, like 15 minutes was enough to get back to your grave. But having a 2.5 minutes maximum is quite short. Having these in your bank can make it up to 4, which can make a huge difference for some people. For max players, it's not a big deal because you can just use the max portal and get back to your stuff quickly. But anyways, let's just show you how it goes. So I'm gonna go to Core Beast and die with my full hybrid gear as I've got on right now. All of the T90 weapons and armors and whatnot. And also, if you die now in Corp, you will have a gravestone, instead of having the items drop to the ground, you will have a gravestone now if you die. So let's just quickly die and see what happens. Alright, so we are in Death, his office. So, do you wish to reclaim items? Yes, just to quickly check it out, your top 3 most expensive items will be saved. I did not have protect item, by the way, and I did not have any portents for protection. So you can save up to 5 maximum, which will save you a lot of money. So in order to get all of my stuff back, I'll have to pay 2.1 million, I mean, in order to get all of this T90 stuff back. By the way, the values are GE price right now. They implemented the GE values of the live game into the beta for all of them. So you can see here a comp cape has a value of 5 million, a ring of vigor as well, and it's 70k to reclaim my ring of vigor and my comp cape, which is quite expensive. Scrimshaw, sadly good enough, it doesn't cost that much. I don't know, it's probably still not updated prices, by the way, so that's maybe why. And my quiver, because it has the Ascension bolts in it, it does cost quite a bit as well, 15k to keep it. My Emerald Soul, 146k to keep it. My Ceramic Body, 148. My Dry Gorge, 180k. This is 214k. 600k to save my ascension bow. So quite expensive, you can see. However, so you can use a bank chest if you think you can make it back on time. Alright, so here you can get out these silent respites if you think you have not enough time. If 2 minutes is not enough, get them out, wear them, and you'll have a 50%, 50 seconds extra added to your gravestone timer, up to a maximum of 2 minutes, I believe. So in total, you have 4 minutes and 30 seconds to get back to your gravestone if you have the highest one unlocked. Now, if you don't get back to your gravestone on time, death will keep your items for 24 hours in total. Let's say you DC or the servers DC and you don't make it back to your gravestone within those 2 or 4 minutes, death will have your items for the 2 million prize, obviously, which is quite expensive. However, if you normally will die just because you got KO'd, you can get back to your stuff on time, then it's no big of a deal. You do have armor degradation back again, however. So everything that you did not protect, so the 3 or 5 items, will lose degradation. So even if you have it in your inventory, that's not a change. Previously used to be only items degraded if you were to wear them, but now everything in your inventory gets degraded as well. So all of the hybrid stuff pretty much is annoying now when hybriding the boss, but yeah. I mean, I guess the penalty has to be there. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I hope I didn't forget anything. Basically, if you die, you still have a gravestone. 2 to 4 minutes to get back there. You lose degradation of armor still. And if you don't get back on time, you have to pay a fee in order to reclaim items. Still a really good update. If you were to DC, then you will lose your items forever, or server DDoS. So this is a really good change for the future. I'm really glad they changed it the way it used to be versus you have always to repay it. So now it's not of a big penalty dying, especially at high level bosses like Virago, KK, where you easily die. And yeah guys, I hope to inform you a lot with this update. If you want to play the beta, be sure to check out the description or go to the forums. You can find it under the beta feedback, a link to the beta. Otherwise, I'll link in the description. And thanks for watching, guys. Be sure to give it a like, and I'll see you next time.